It's no surprise that Hillary Clinton has a pretty big lead when it comes to superdelegates. Now, for those who aren't familiar, superdelegates are essentially elected officials, prominent party members, and insiders. A couple of examples is actually Bill Clinton, former presidents Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter. Those are superdelegates. Now, what they are is that they exist outside of the primary process in a way that they don't actually have to vote for the will of the people. For example, if you're a superdelegate in a state where Bernie Sanders has won, you don't have to vote for Bernie Sanders. You can defy the will of your people, and you can change your vote at any time. The only time that it matters is during the convention. Now, we saw them in action in 2008, 2012, because they've been around for a while, since the 1970s. And what happens? Hillary Clinton had all the superdelegates. Obama did not. At the end, when Obama won the popular vote and more delegates, those superdelegates switched. That's the story on them. But we're not sure if that's actually going to happen this time. Now, for example, Howard Dean made some waves with a tweet that he had sent, making his intentions to vote for Hillary Clinton no matter what clear. He is a pure Clinton person, does not care what the American people think. If they go majority to to Bernie Sanders, he'll still vote for Hillary Clinton. Great. Not good. Now, what would probably not surprise you is just what kind of person is a superdelegate. Now, according to ABC News, superdelegates consist of 21 governors, 40 senators, 193 representatives. Now, that makes up about a third of the superdelegates. Now, many of the remaining 463 convention delegates are actually Democratic establishment insiders. Uh-oh. Now, you have any wonder why they don't support Bernie Sanders? To be fair, not all of the delegates or superdelegates have even made their decision. I'll get to that later. Now, according to ABC, many of the 437 delegates in the DNC member category are registered federal and state lobbyists. And a lot of these lobbyists, and a lot of these insiders get their status after years of donation and service to the party. And as I said, many of that 437 left are federal and state lobbyists for corporations. Now, in fact, when you remove elected officials from the superdelegate pool, at least 1 in 7 of the rest are current or lobbyists registered on the federal and state level, according to disclosure records. Oh boy. Now, in numbers, that actually leaves about 67 lobbyists who will attend the convention as superdelegates. And of course, unsurprisingly, a majority of them have actually already committed to Hillary Clinton. Here we go. And 41 lobbyist superdelegates, almost 6 in 10, have already committed to supporting Clinton. A third haven't yet revealed a presence. 2 have stated that they are supporting Bernie Sanders. Wow. Now, superdelegates. They're kind of unique, right? Of the 4,763 delegates who will attend the Democratic National Convention, 717 of those will be superdelegates. It's almost a third of the total required to win the nomination. Now, these 717 delegates, superdelegates, that are free to support whoever they want, Clinton has already won commitments from more than half of them. She's been endorsed by 450 superdelegates. To Bernie Sanders, 19. Now, the rest are uncommitted. Now, what's funny is the DNC is saying, no, don't worry about the superdelegates. They don't matter as much as you think. Quote, 85% of the delegates of the convention are pledged, not super, so the primaries and caucuses are what determine the nominees. Superdelegates don't have to vote until the convention and can change their minds at any time. So any count of superdelegates at this time is not an accurate reflection of the situation. That is, of course, Mark Postenbach, National Press Secretary for the DNC. You know, what's funny is that he's actually kind of right. But it's also funny how when talking about the delegates in the news, they always seem to include the pledged superdelegates already. But wait a minute, if they can change their mind at any time, then why put them in? Why put them in? I thought they didn't matter until the convention. Oh, right. I get it. I know why. It's because it's there to dissuade Sanders voters by making her look like she's so far ahead in the lead that voting makes no sense. It's to dissuade Sanders voters from voting. Oh, look at how far ahead Hillary Clinton is. I guess we won't vote for Sanders. Maybe we should vote for Hillary Clinton instead. Make no mistake, the use of superdelegates is a thumb on the scale that currently favors Hillary Clinton. And that's just the truth of it. The whole idea of a superdelegate is to stop someone like Bernie Sanders, an insurgent, non-establishment candidate, from supposedly costing the Democrats an election. Remember, it was after some of their losses that they decided, let's do the superdelegate thing so that we don't have that happen again. Well, here's the thing. Not only is that undemocratic, but in Bernie Sanders' case, if used to give Hillary Clinton a win, well, over Bernie Sanders, it could cost the election. It would be a disaster. Why do I say that? Well, because of the facts. Numerous polls show that Bernie Sanders would do better against any of the Republicans. It's not one or two polls. It's consistent polling that shows that he is ahead of every Republican candidate. Where Hillary Clinton consistently loses to John Kasich, it's here and there when it comes to Cruz. Sometimes she's ahead. More oftentimes she's ahead, but by a couple of points. And sometimes she gets beaten by him by a couple of points. But to be fair, she absolutely crushes Donald Trump, who is right now the presumed frontrunner, but maybe not for long. It could end up being a contested convention, a brokered convention, and ending up with a, in my opinion, Ryan Kasich ticket. Which if it's Hillary Clinton versus Paul Ryan and John Kasich, ooh, that spells trouble. She might win, but it'd be real close. Whereas, if the Democrats nominate Bernie Sanders, with his appeal to independents and with younger people, now I'm not just saying, 18 to 25. He also does well with, 35 to 54? And then seniors, of course, go more for Hillary Clinton if they go Democratic. Generally. It would be better for the party to nominate the more electable candidate, Bernie Sanders. And if they use the superdelegates, if Bernie Sanders does well and gets more of the delegates, but they put their thumb on the scale using superdelegates to ensure her win, absolute disaster for the party. And this is why, just one of the reasons, the fact that it's undemocratic being added on to that the superdelegate system's got to go. This is not a thing that should exist in a functional democracy. It does not matter to me how much these people have helped the party. Politics should not be about the parties. It should be about the ideas. It should be about the people who will govern the country the best. I do not care how much you've donated to a party or how many favors you've done for that party, especially as the party continues to go in the opposite direction of the American people, which right now, economically, is both the Republican and Democratic parties.